in this video, I'm just going to walk through setting up Vue 3 with Vite, and then using Vue's new reactive features like ref to create a model which can be used in different components, a bit like Vuex, but using the sort of the built-in methods. Let's get started and create a new project. Vue model demo. VS Code, and we can see how that looks. As you can see, we've got sort of a bare bones Vue app. We've got the basic entry point, and then sort of the demo hello world component. Let's move that over here. Okay, well, another thing that I want to do is add Tailwind. We're not going to create a really stylish app, but just to sort of make it look a little bit better, I'll bring Tailwind into this quick. That should get us going. Okay. Let's strip this out. We're gonna use the new Vue 3 syntax. This, and we're gonna create a header component. And the header component's just gonna be like a nav. Counter demo, and inside that we'll have, it's going to have the count in it. Leave that as 0, and then here we can import header component. Be sure to add the .vue on here. We don't need any of this. Let's create a basic header template. Okay, so we've got a sort of a demo header component when we're going to output sort of the result of the count in the header, and then we'll output it somewhere else. So we'll show it being used by different components, and then sort of have another component that's interacting with that model that's sort of causing it to increase or decrease. So let's create a counter component, which we don't have yet. Inside of here, we'll have a template. It's going to have. Okay, so we've got a couple of buttons in the middle of the screen that will eventually increase and decrease this count. Okay, so we've got a counter output at the top, and we'll have a counter output at the bottom. So let's make the model for that. So we're just going to have a file that's going to be called counter.model.js, and inside of here we're going to import ref from Vue. The ref can be used to hold primitive values like strings or numbers. We're going to use that. We're going to create a counter. There's going to be a ref, and it's going to start off at 0. We're going to export this as the default. Might have that at the bottom. And then we're going to have a couple of methods on here that's going to alter it. Have counter.value. That's how you access the value of the reactive reference. And so we're just going to increase that, and then in the opposite we'll do the opposite, counter value minus. And then we can pull this in and can use those methods. Import, increase, decrease from the model. If we add these on, so we're going to import counter, which is the default from the model, and then we're going to import the increase and decrease methods, which are tied to the button click handlers, and then we're just going to output the counter. As you can see, we've also added that in at the header. We're outputting what the counter is, and we're importing the same model. So we've got the same model being used in two places, in the counter and inside the header. And as you can see, when we start to increase that, it's updating the same value in both places. So this is a really, really handy feature. And then inside that model, you could have checks in here. You could, validate that we, for example, that we don't decrease it if it's below or equal to 0. Or we want it to be greater than or equal to 0. Otherwise, we'll do nothing. So that will stop us from decreasing. Decreasing past 0 if we get the calculation right, and then the same we could have various other things. So this could be really this could be really helpful if we were having a login component, or a component that might show maybe a username, and we might want a login and log out button in another component where we've got some shared state. So I hope you found that useful. If you have, I'd really appreciate if you could like and subscribe, and you'll be notified of when I create any new videos. Really appreciate you watching. Thanks.